Have you ever looked at someone else's success and felt a twinge of jealousy, even when you didn't want to? Have you ever struggled to celebrate someone's breakthrough, wondering quietly, when will it be my turn? Welcome back, my dear friends. So good to have you here again. Today's exploration might challenge you in ways that are subtle but transformative. We're diving into the powerful and often overlooked spiritual practice of rejoicing in the success of others. That's right, rejoicing. Not pretending to be happy for them. Not forcing a smile while feeling empty inside. But truly, deeply, joyfully celebrating someone else's growth, wealth, happiness, or awakening from the heart. Why does this matter? Because how you respond to others' blessings reveals how open you are to your own. Your capacity to rejoice in someone else's light is a direct reflection of how much light you're willing to allow into your own life. Let that sink in. What if the door to your abundance isn't locked by fate, but by your own resistance to others' wisdom? What if destiny doesn't open with force, but with celebration? This isn't just poetic philosophy, it's a spiritual law echoed across traditions and scriptures, East and West. Let's begin by understanding this truth. There is no scarcity in spiritual abundance. The universe is not a limited pie. One person's success does not take away from your own. In fact, it might be the very energy that activates your next breakthrough, if you let it. Yet so often, we do the opposite. You see someone shining and feel small. You hear about someone's good fortune and feel left behind. You watch others rise and question our own worth. And what we don't realize is that these moments, these tiny painful contractions, are sacred opportunities. They are the universe whispering, "There's a wound here, let's heal it." But most people don't hear the whisper, they just feel the sting, and then they arm up. They judge, they gossip, they withdraw, or they smile on the outside while hurting on the inside. This inner conflict is not a moral failure. It's not a character flaw. It's a signal. Signal that your heart is still carrying stories of unworthiness, fear, and separation. Because here's the truth, when you are whole, another person's light only reminds you of your own. When you are truly at peace with yourself, others' joy adds to your joy. Their success becomes your inspiration. Their abundance becomes your permission slip. But that can only happen if the heart is open. The heart only opens when it feels safe. So the real question is, what is keeping your heart closed? Is it the old belief that if someone else wins, you lose? Is it the childhood programming that said there's only so much love, attention, or opportunity to go around? Is it the fear that if you celebrate others, no one will celebrate you? Whatever it is, name it. Not to judge it, but to free it. Because when you bring awareness to your resistance, it begins to dissolve. And when it dissolves, something magical happens. You begin to feel genuinely, sincerely happy for others. Not because you're supposed to, but because your soul remembers, we are one. Their gain is not your loss. Their success is not your threat. Their breakthrough is not your failure. Their light is your mirror. Their joy is your training. Their destiny is your foreshadowing. Yes, their success is showing you what's possible, not what's unavailable. This is why rejoicing is such a powerful spiritual act. transforms envy into inspiration, turns scarcity into abundance, dissolves separation into unity, moves you from fear to flow. And when you live in that frequency, miracles become normal. Let's go deeper into this idea of rejoicing. True rejoicing is not just about emotion. It's not just about plastering on a smile and trying to feel happy for someone. It's about shifting your frequency, tuning into a higher energetic vibration that is aligned with gratitude, expansion, and unity. When you truly rejoice in someone else's fortune, what you are really doing is affirming the abundance of the universe. You are saying, yes, this is possible. Yes, this exists in my world. Yes, there is enough for all of us. And that affirmation creates a resonance, magnet, spiritual signal that attracts similar energies into your own life. Think of the last time you genuinely rejoiced in someone's achievement, a friend's promotion, a sibling's healing, a stranger's success story. If you really allowed yourself to feel joy for them, didn't it feel free, light, expansive? That feeling is your soul in alignment. But of course, we all have moments when that's not what we feel, and we hear of someone's blessings and feel the quiet ache of comparison instead. That ache is important. It's not a sign of failure. It's a messenger. It's pointing you toward a place where you still believe you are not enough, where you still think you are separate, as you still hold the belief that joy is a competition instead of a shared experience. Those are the places that need healing. That healing begins with honesty. You can say, right now I feel jealous, not because you're unspiritual, but because you're human. And you go further. Why do I feel this way? What story am I telling myself? What do I believe is missing from my own life that their success is triggering in me? These questions are gold. They are the keys to inner liberation. And as you inquire with compassion, not judgment, you begin to unravel the knots. You begin to see that their success is not the cause of your suffering. Your belief in your own lack is. Once that belief dissolves, there's nothing left but love. How you can look at someone's joy and feel inspired. How you can look at someone's wealth and feel encouraged. How you can look at someone's healing and feel hopeful. Because now your heart is open, and an open heart is the most powerful attractor there is. Let's consider another reason rejoicing is such a transformative practice. It shifts you from self-centered consciousness to soul-centered consciousness. Most of the time, we're living inside a mental bubble where thoughts are about our life, or problems, or desires, or wounds. This is natural. It's part of the human experience. But if we never move beyond it, we get stuck in the illusion of separation. Rejoicing breaks that illusion. When you truly celebrate another, you momentarily step out of your own ego construct and into unity. You step into the field where meet and few dissolve into we. This is sacred territory. It's the field where healing happens. It's the space where grace flows. It's the vibration where karma transforms. And that's not just poetic language, that's how energetic laws work. What you affirm, you align with. So when you affirm someone else's joy, you align with J. When you affirm someone else's success, you align with success. When you affirm someone else's breakthrough, you align with breakthroughs. Let me share a story to illustrate this. There was once a woman named Clara who struggled for years to find stability. Her career was inconsistent, her relationships short-lived, her inner world filled with doubt. He meditated, he read spiritual books, he prayed for change. One day, her closest friend landed a dream job, hiking, meaningful, full of travel. Clara felt happy for her friend, but also crushed. He spent a week spiraling in self-pity, comparing her messy life to her friend's newfound glow. But instead of staying stuck, Clara did something brave. He sat with her pain. Each acknowledged her jealousy. Then, he made a decision. Every day, he would send her friends silent blessings. Every time a negative thought came up, he would counter it with cheats. I'm so happy for her. Her success is a sign of what's possible. I trust that my time is coming. He turned her envy into a spiritual practice. Within a month, her energy shifted. He smiled more. He slept better. He had more creative ideas. Then, almost effortlessly, a new opportunity came into her life. Not just a job, but one that aligned with her purpose. Was it magic? Oh, it was resonance. By rejoicing, he created space for her own joy to rise. This is not a trick, it's a law. And the law is this: what you celebrate, you activate. Imagine if you lived your life this way. Imagine if you turned every moment of jealousy into a moment of expansion. Imagine if you met every trigger with curiosity, not shame. Imagine if you trained your heart to rejoice, not as a performance, but as a way of life. Your world would change. Not because the world changed, but because your energy did. And now, as we close this journey into the heart of rejoicing, I invite you to pause, not just to reflect, but to feel what has stirred within you. Notice what beliefs have been gently challenged, what parts of your heart have quietly softened, and what possibilities now seem just a little more open. This has not merely been a conversation about how to feel happy for others. It has been a deep exploration into the very structure of your inner world. Journey through the layers of comparison, scarcity, longing, and fear. Not to reject them, but to understand them, to bring them into the light of your awareness, because it is only in the light that true transformation begins. We've seen how envy is not an enemy, but the diet of the discomfort you feel in the presence of another's success is not shameful, but sacred. It is your soul tapping you on the shoulder, saying, there's something here you're ready to receive if you can first learn to celebrate it. And perhaps most importantly, we've discovered that rejoicing is not a gesture, it's a doorway. Way of saying to life, I trust your timing, I trust your abundance, I trust that what is meant for me will find me, and in the meantime, I will celebrate all that is God, even when it's not mine yet. Think of what your life could look like if you lived that way. What if every time someone else received a gift, you received it too, not physically, but energetically? What if their joy became your proof? What if their expansion became your inspiration? This is not fantasy. This is spiritual maturity. This is what it means to move from the ego mind to the awakened heart. In a world that teaches us to compete, to compare, to guard our worth like a scarce resource, the practice of rejoicing is radical. It says, I refuse to believe the lie of lack. I choose to live in the truth of abundance. Open my heart to all that is good for you, for me, for everyone. That is not naive. That is powerful. That is not passive. That is co-creative. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. Let me share one final story with you. There was a monk who, every day at dawn, would walk to the top of the hill behind the monastery and chant blessings for the village below. He would lift his hands to the sky and say, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be free. May all beings awaken." One day, young novice asked him, "Why do you bless the village every day when they don't even know you're doing it?" Old monk smiled, "Because the more I bless others, the more I remember who I am." Rejoicing is like that. It's a blessing. Not just for others, but for yourself. Reconnects you with your soul. It reminds you of your power. Restores you to the truth that you are already enough, already whole, already connected to the infinite source of all good things. So here's my invitation to you now. For the next 7 days, make rejoicing your practice. When you see someone succeed, say silently, "Thank you for showing me what's possible." When envy rises, say, "I honor this feeling. I choose to turn it into joy." When doubt whispers, "Oh, not me," I respond with, "My time will come. Until then, I celebrate you." And watch what happens. Watch how your energy shifts. Watch how your mood lifts. Watch how your life begins to change, not because the world is different, but because you are. Because you've opened the door to destiny, not with effort, but with ting. That's the secret, my friends. Joy is the key. And it was always in your hands. Now, I would love to hear from you. Have you ever struggled to truly rejoice in someone else's good fortune? What has helped you shift that energy? How has the practice of joyful celebration opened new doors in your own life? Share your story in the comments below. Your voice may be the light someone else needs to hear today. If this message resonated with you, please support this channel, subscribe, like the video, and share it with someone who may be walking through the same lesson right now. And if you'd like to go deeper into these teachings, consider joining our membership circle for exclusive content and live sessions. Until next time, may you rejoice often, love freely, and trust deeply in the divine unfolding of your own sacred path. Remember, the joy you give is the joy you become.